Chapter 13. Brie peeked out at the crowd and took a deep breath. She was not a public speaker by nature. Instagram and Facebook videos were about as close as she got. But tonight was important for many reasons. Not only would it be her opportunity to connect with Jesse again, she hoped, but it would also be an opportunity to raise a lot of money and awareness for the Children's Hospital. "If you're ready, Miss Carter, they are ready for you." Nancy, the sound coordinator, nodded at her. She held a clipboard in her hand and a mic and earpiece extended from the right side of her face so she could give directions to the lighting and sound crew. Brie closed her eyes and whispered a quick prayer, and then she stepped up to the microphone. Her eyes scanned the crowd for just a moment, and she smiled when she saw Jesse. She could see the confusion in his eyes. "Thank you all for coming. We are here tonight for 2 reasons. 1, to honor a wonderful man I have gotten to know who has a love for these children. And 2, to raise money for some wonderful children. I'd like to show you a video of some of these kids as they are too sick to join us in person. Then I'll share a little about the amazing man I met." Brie stepped back and watched the video play. She had gone into the Children's Hospital a few days prior with a friend who was a videographer and filmed the children after getting permission from their parents. Some shots were of the kids playing, but a few brave souls had agreed to speak on film. They spoke of their illness and how hard it was to be stuck in the hospital, and they spoke of Jesse and how much joy he brought every time he showed up. When the video ended, Brie surveyed the crowd. Tears glistened in many eyes across the room. It was moving to see that so many people had a soft side. "A few weeks ago, I thought having the newest purse or pair of shoes was the only thing that mattered. I had a closet full of things I hadn't even worn. But then I met this amazing man. He introduced me to these kids, and my view began to change. I saw a man who was so giving of his time and his money, and it made me want to be better. I would like to introduce that man to you. Jesse Calhoun, will you come up here?" All eyes turned to the SWAT table as Jesse stood. Brie could tell he was uncomfortable, but she also knew the crowd would relate to him. As soon as he joined her at the mic, she turned back to the crowd. "This is Jesse Calhoun. He is a member of New York's SWAT team. More importantly, he is a hero to these children. When he has time, he delivers toys to these kids, and tonight I would like for us to help him. We are going to have an auction in a minute, and all the proceeds are going to this hospital. Even if you don't find anything you would like to buy, I hope you will still donate. These amazing kids are the sweetest ones you will ever meet. They don't ask for anything other than healing, but they find joy in those little things. And this is something we can do for them. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Robin, our auctioneer, to get this started." The crowd clapped, and Brie smiled and took Jesse's hand and led him off the stage as Robin took her place. "You planned all of this?" he asked as they entered the wing. "I did. When you left the other day, I was heartbroken. But I finally understood what you meant about needing God. He was there for me when I was at my lowest. And when I prayed for a way to show you that I cared, this came to mind. I know it isn't that personal." "It's perfect," he said, cutting her off and taking her hand. "Brie, I'm sorry I doubted you. I have hurt in my past that I'm still dealing with, and a friend reminded me that we all make mistakes." "It's okay, Jesse. I would have doubted me too. But I meant what I said out there. You have changed me. Well, you and God. I would say I'm sorry I ever took that bet, but I'm not really, because if I hadn't, I would never have talked to you. I would have kept living my empty life searching for something I never would have found there." Jesse smiled and his hand cupped her face. Brie leaned into it and placed her hand on his, enjoying the touch she had been missing for a moment. We better get back out there before they send a search party for us.
All right,
Jesse said, but the desire remained in his eyes. Brie led the way back to the floor, and they joined the rest of the SWAT team at the table. Jesse grabbed Brie's hand under the table. He still couldn't believe she had put all this together. There were so many items to bid on, and the crowd seemed especially generous after watching the video she had put together. When the auction ended, she had raised over $1 million for the children. "I have one more gift for you," she said, after they had said goodbye to his friends. They had ridden back to the station in the limo and were now standing at his truck.
"Another gift? Brie, you have given me so much already. The children are so lucky to have you as a friend."
"I know, but I wanted to give you something just for you." She opened her purse and pulled out 2 rectangular tickets. Jesse took them, and his eyes widened.
"Tickets to the Super Bowl? Brie, I can't."
She smiled and touched his arm. "You can, and you will. I had to promise a lot of favors to get these tickets."
"Nothing too awful, I hope."
"I have no idea," she said with a laugh. "But whatever they are, it will be worth it. You are worth it." She placed a hand on his chest, and Jesse wrapped his arms around her waist.
"Well, thank you. I know your team isn't playing, but I hope you'll accompany me to the game. I can't imagine anyone I'd rather take."
"I'd be honored." She moved her hands to meet behind his neck and pulled gently. Jesse was only too happy to comply, and he lowered his face until his lips touched hers.